Virgo, hello, happy birthday, and welcome to your weekly reading for the week of September 22nd through to the 28th. Wow, what a week. What a week it will be. We have the equinox at the time I'm filming this. Today is Mercury Day, and I have the attunement to this feeling that you guys are coming into this new, like you could sink in, you can really relish and cherish all that you guys have been working towards. It's your solar return after all. While there might be details that you've got your eye on, you know that you've finessed it. You know that you're balancing that tightrope energy. We're going to start with the angels. We'll see what the angels have to say for you for this week. And starting out on the week, well, I'm looking at the 29th, and there's a very interesting formation happening. We have a bit of an earth trine happening still. Mercury will be in your sign, and you guys will be knowing what you need to know about yourself to take your work to the next level, to have a heightened opinion of yourself. And in your 8th house, we have Chiron and the North Node. So you guys are coming into a sense of really doing the work to transmute who you have been in your life before, and maybe while ouch, it still stings a little bit, you guys have the capacity, the emotional wherewithal to take change seriously, take change to heart, to take steps towards fulfilling new goals. And you can make a new goal for yourself every year. Yeah, you have the star, so you guys have the potential to see things clearly. You see where your energy is going, and you understand that you're working just a centimeter a day. JCM, those are my initials, just a centimeter a day. If you fulfilled that goal, if you're able to do that, you're going to heal some deep-seated sadness. We have the 6th of Earth, so you guys are definitely stacking away, but underneath that, we have to be tending to our emotions. Our emotional stability, that's not the emotions card, but it's saying it's time to rest. And underneath that rest might be some sadness, but you guys might have been working so hard, and you might have thought you took a vacation, but maybe you need to look at life in a new way, maybe not as a treadmill, to be really exuberantly overjoyed that you're tightrope walking, you're balancing all of the things you know you need to do, but you actually are really letting this emotional vortexing take up a bit more space in your life. That 22 is a feely, really dealy, feely thing. So you guys might be feeling a lot of the old coming up. You might be watching it as it kind of subsides. It's almost like, playing with a sheet of fabric that's really thin, like gossamer fabric, and part of it comes up and then it comes down. And that's like how your emotions are going. So you want to make sure that that's considered to be work as well as actual physical labor or time spent at a desk. And you want to do things that moderate that level of fixed attention on a goal or an outcome with something that is just being in nature, watching the cycles, maybe going for a walk in your local forest reserve or on a hike trail with lots of trees that give you the sense of calm, that the forest is alive, that you're in a place where nature's cycles can be honored and celebrated just as you've celebrated yours. So this 5 of Earth is speaking to, with the 6 of Earth underneath it, their fears surrounding money, which is maybe why you guys have been working so hard. Maybe you're afraid of, what would happen if your health went south or something, but worries are a prayer for the worst. We have to make sure that our thoughts are aligned to our highest, most divine will. Prayer daily is something that has helped me immensely, praying over my food, praying with my kids, praying with my husband. It's just something that from our lips to God's ears, we can just pray for that level of serenity in our life, and then we'll know when we could take a rest, when we can actually have active rest. Yesterday I tried to take a nap and I was like, I gotta keep sewing. And I was like, hand stitching something. We have the Page of Earth following that 5 of Earth and 6 of Earth. So there is a window. There's a window of opportunity opening, and it feels like you all will be at ease by the end of this week. So I want to look at the progress of Chiron and then Mercury. So Mercury is your traditional ruler in astrology, and Chiron is your ruler from the work of Christopher Witecki with Sirius Joy. Chiron moves back a degree. It retrogrades to 21 degrees Aries. So what you feel finally can take be abreast. It can take a rest, and you can figure out what you know. And Mercury will move to 6 degrees Libra to conjoin the South Node. So the ways that we're going to be communicating will be a bit more I almost want to say final, because Libra does have that velvet glove, iron fist energy, according to Linda Goodman. I always loved that because I felt it from a young age. When I first came upon her work, I'm like, yeah, that's right. We know how to stick around to get what we need. And this Five of Swords is saying, maybe this is exactly what you need to do. With your star card, you need to know how and what is worth waiting for. How you can wait for something active resting and still planting those seeds while also really enjoying the cycles of life. And then how you can also open up to be more aware of what you don't know, what's behind the scenes, and be willing to become a disciple to, you know, your reasons for celebrating yourself. I feel that celebrating myself has become one of my biggest achievements of this year, is just, you know, writing down my ideas, keeping a journal by my bed for middle of the night thoughts, and giving myself that much more clarity, that much more validation, and that much more attention. It really helps, because the world could ignore your creations until you're like up there in age, and if you've kept a record of everything, boom, there you go. You have a legacy. And we have the Knight of Wands. This blue toad is speaking to some transformation, and maybe that croaking ability is your ability to come out of the closet. Maybe some of you guys have beautiful singing voices. You'd be doing the angels a service to be sharing what you have, your gifts. And look at that. We're getting closer to what we love with your glyph, Virgo. That is your glyph. In reality, this Four of Air is on the Lovers is on the Four of Air. And just as I was talking about honoring the angels with your voice, we have the Lovers. So there is a cherub in this card. And maybe through rest or just simply keeping a journal by your bed, you all can start writing lyrics to music. And, you know, I've been doing research on musicians for a while now. And I found like Frank Ocean was writing music for Brandy and someone else before he became famous and wrote his first album, and then joined the group Odd Future, which it's something to where it's like, you don't have to be the face behind the music that you're writing, but you can make a lot of money, and that would take away some of the fear surrounding money. Yeah, we have Five of Earth and the Four of Earth. So it feels like, there's a lot underneath your emotional foundation around scarcity that needs to be addressed. You guys need to be willing to open up to maybe the root of that. And maybe this fear that your efforts aren't substantial, or maybe that your gifts aren't prosperous, which is not true. Once we face the truth behind the fears and we get to the bottom of them, we make sure that we're doing our due diligence to journal, to take time. I started journaling. I'm going to get to it after I finish these, but it's something to where if we take up 3 pages a day with like morning pages, we will have the time and space for ourselves. And then we'll find that the world starts paying that much more attention to us, because we have gone deep within our feeling state and we know exactly what we're feeling. And those feelings are not being pushed onto other people. It's like that gossamer fabric. We see something rising up here. Oh, what's that? And we're paying attention to it. We're minding our business, which is our heart. And that's the most important thing, because one thing I've been saying recently since I changed my channel's name to Christ Heart Collective is, if we could run every thought, my analytical brain children Virgo, through our heart, or for every thought, if there was a pulse that we were really present with, or if every thought or every word that we want to speak was ran by the heart, how safe would our communities feel? How safe would our relationships and connections and potential business partnerships feel? They would feel so safe, especially if your heart feels loved. If it doesn't feel judged for what it thinks. Maybe you want to start making pink pajama sets and you think that's silly, but maybe it's something that can make you $1 billion because you want to do it with recycled plastics in the Dominican Republic, and, you know, figure out a lot of solutions by following your heart's desire. Okay, we have the Six of Coins. You guys are definitely thinking about money, so I pray that you guys get your needs beyond met. So let's see what Goddess Wisdom has to come forth for you, and then we're going to do a little bit of look at these cards and what they mean, because you got the 6, the 5, the 4, and the 6 of Earth. So it's like 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4. You know, you guys are counting backwards and forwards, making sure you have enough to make every end meet, but what about the divine? You know, what about God? What about co-creating with the universe and making sure that you're taking those steps to make something huge that would make a huge difference in the world? And then prosperity could be yours. And you're not going to have to count every single thing in that way. You got Ma'at, the truth. Yeah, I have a feeling that she's speaking to Mercury conjoining the South Node in Libra at 6 degrees. That degree of Libra's rulership, of receptivity, of Venus, of values. And I sense that this is coming through with the value of yourself and what you have to offer the world. Not just by what you can do with your hands, but what you could do with that heart of yours, Virgo. We know it's golden. Ma'at, truth. Empowerment message. There is great power in telling the truth and allowing it to lead you to higher ground. It's only when we refuse to see the reality of a situation that we lose our power to co-create for the highest good. The Egyptian goddess Ma'at comes to remind you that if you are willing to do a fearless self-inventory and live authentically, that is with that South Node conjoined Mercury in your second house. Yes, yes. With rigorous honesty, it will lead you to great success in all areas of your life. So that is a fearless self-inventory and living authentically. Being completely transparent with others, although it might at first feel too vulnerable, is exactly what you need to do now. When you do this, you will be flooded with the power to claim and experience a new freedom and a new happiness that will pour over you like over your life like wild sweet honey. And it's so funny, I almost said rigorous honey. So maybe some of you guys are working with bees. Maybe you guys know a beekeeper. Maybe you could buy local honey. And it's something that, because the bees are so connected to the divine, to God, they have such rich nutrients for us in their bee pollen, in their honey. And, you know, even studying bees could be something that's nourishing for you at this time. Your life is exactly where it needs to be. This is a wonderful time of empowered choice making. You are doing all the things right if you follow the invitation of Ma'at to live fearlessly in truth. As the arbiter of balance and divine order, she reminds you of the great value of this way of being. So for alignment, for those of you guys who are like, yes, I feel empowered, and for those of you guys who are like, I don't know about that. Okay, alignment message. The law of karma states that everything comes into balance sooner or later, so trust that in the greater story of your life, all wrongs will get righted. The goddess Ma'at appears with her scales of justice to remind you that you are seeing only one moment in time. The balance of events tips both ways. Ooh, I sense that that's what this is. The scale. It's not just about money. It's definitely the prosperity key. And transforming maybe your view of prosperity or how prosperous you are when you live in this alignment. So the balance of events tips both ways until it comes into coherence with the harmony of the universe. Regardless of this natural rebalancing, it's time to speak up if you see and sense injustice in your world. Ma'at says in order for you to be truly free, everyone must be free. And okay, one thing I've learned from Human Garage is how to speak from a place of passion and even sometimes like that feminine, sacred rage without being angry. And it's because if we have a lot of stored trauma that hasn't been put on the paper, it hasn't been addressed, we haven't paid attention to it, our inner child is going to be freaking out by the time we take it to our world, to our loved ones, to people who are outside of us. So those parts within us that feel a little damp and sticky, they might be covered in wild sweet honey. And we just need to take time and spend time with that part of ourselves that has fractioned off and that feels like, you know, this boogeyman figure in the back here. As these people are coming to the church and asking for help. She offers you the alignment task of considering where you may have hurt someone else and how your unconscious projection of how the world should be might have set you up for a transgression, even if you were innocent. This is a time of great unraveling, and nothing meaningful will be accomplished without some effort. Another message for you now is to see behind the words of others, especially when you feel they may be withholding truth or acting without awareness. It's important not to enable this. Tell the truth with as much love as you can. even though denial may be swept away in an awkward moment and everyone feels exposed. It's an important way to move forward with compassion. The goddess Ma'at reminds you that she is a champion for those willing to course correct and gives you her full support. Okay, so yeah, that's true. Sometimes we've hurt others, and this is a part of relationships and learning to relate to others on that frequency of, all right, 23 degrees Virgo, 22 degrees Chiron, your ruling energies. Making sure that you scrub the long-term investments, deep, committed partnerships and unions, as well as your sense of self and what you know about yourself, into what you physically own. I just told Gemini that you can take an inventory. Let me get this for the Dali cards. You could take an inventory of all the things that you have. And if you have a lot of stuff from your ex and you're like, I don't really know if this is a good vibe for me, it has their energy on it, you can repurpose it. You could restain it. You can, sell it and then buy something less expensive that fits more into your budget. But if you really like it, there's nothing wrong with keeping it and just saging it and letting that be a regular thing you do until all of those feelings have come up and there's still peace underneath it. It's always peace underneath it, but it's a matter of us getting still enough with that peace to recognize it. And then with those values being brought to the surface and you being able to live authentically and speak your truth authentically without coming from this place of needing to hurt someone else because they hurt your feelings, that's going to be a game changer. Okay, well, let's start with the Five of Swords because I always need to get this practical advice. Use your knowledge fruitfully. Consider the two swords lying on the ground and ask yourself whether you understand the power of your untapped thoughts and can appreciate the joy of overcoming and discarding old doubts. Beware of empty promises and unfounded speculation. Live fully in the present moment. Reassess what you consider to be good and beautiful. You know you are on the right track when you are happy and have learned to marvel again. And that's what I feel for you guys. At the start of this week, you all will have a clear goal. You all will have a clear way of even getting to that goal. It's going to feel really good. And then it's just about making sure that you polish maybe the ways that you communication, the ways that you direct your emotions and communication, because there are people who really love you. They honor you, they see you, they cherish you, but they just don't know how to handle their end of the bargain because maybe some of your truth in the past has really wounded them and they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to come clean to themselves because they were still, in shadow, which a lot of us are here to awaken each other. We're at Earth School for a reason. Four of coins, maybe Four of Corns too. I'm reading Red Moon and they speak about how maybe the horse, I might have this confused, becomes the corn during the autumn season in Greek mythology or Celtic mythology. Practical advice. Your most precious talents are those that are the most useful. They will benefit you most by helping you to fulfill your desires and let go of your fears. So that's what this is speaking to. It only came up once. Sometimes it's better to clearly draw the line and to emphasize your uniqueness, but sometimes it's better to improve your communicative abilities and to include as many people as possible in your endeavors. So that could look like what I did recently. Someone kind of tried to run me and my husband's name through the mud because of his business and what he was doing potentially wrong, which he took steps to correct it. But I took that opportunity to say, I'm going to introduce myself. And maybe some of you guys need to do that in your own communities of maybe no one said anything bad about you. Maybe no one said anything bad about you online. Maybe it's not even an issue for you. But what you could do is take an opportunity to go from this inner concern and this inner palpable sensation to open yourself up to your community locally and be like, hey, these are my skills. This is what I have to offer. I'm looking for this amount of work or commitment, and I would love to join someone who has these intentions in mind. And you just open that up, and people can message you through an app or something like that, to where it's not your phone number, it's not anything personal. It's just going to be something that is facilitated on your terms because you've been open and you've honored your fullness, your full truth. Okay, just an idea. Five of Coins. Practical advice. Refused, and this is from the angel deck. I just want to know because you got the Six of Earth twice. Refuse to fulfill unfounded demands, but discharge meaningful obligations with a glad heart. Put an end to unnecessary suffering. Make the world a more human, a more livable, comfortable, and valuable place. I love that. Five of Earth. It says fear surrounding money. So that's where you putting your real passions out there would be very prosperous. So the Six of Earth came up twice. Practical advice. New ways of realizing your own needs and of understanding the needs of others are called for. Learn to distinguish productive from unproductive needs. The value of that which you own is greatest when as many people as possible benefit from it. In this sense, you own only that which you give away. Focus upon realizing a gain for all parties involved. This is much better than managing deprivation. Okay, Virgo. Since this is the week of the third decan, the sun is going into Libra here on the 22nd, about 23rd, depending on your time zone. You guys are the final wave, and then it's happy birthday to Libra. But be sure for my Virgos who are just checking this out to watch your moon and rising reading. Thank you to my subscribers for being here. I had a great time in you all's energy. It feels like you guys are working through some really, really worthy, meaningful stuff. I wish you all the best, and until next time, aloha.